pick ban phase is what I'm hoping to see here.
On the topic of pick ban phase, happening right away. ANU this time on the blue side, UC on the red side. ANU the first ban, immediately taking the Zoe off the board, which is what you were talking about. Not surprising. Also, it's worth mentioning, Game 1, the game where usually the teams kind of get a feel for what the other team's going to be playing. Game 2 is where it really starts being, the tactics for the series really start coming out. So, Skana taken away by UC once again. Not surprising, but what are their other bans? You talked a bit last time, but do you want to recap it as coming off the table?
So once again, we're seeing a set of standardized bans with a bit of the harsh banning on the UC side by removing that Skana. And once again, followed up by that Vlad. Very dominant performance this season so far. Very much looking to see maybe a targeted ban from both teams in this initial ban slot.
Okay, there's the brand to size from the UC team. They're not happy with that one, so I guess you must hit a target ban as Tom Kench. So almost identical. I think these are pretty much identical bans to what we had last time. Same 6 champions taken off in the first rotation. So Amumu already first picked immediately for ANU. They want that pick. Interesting. I like it. I like a bit of Amumu in the game.
Locking down that mummy really has strong engage, but also that ult can lock down a team fight and set up for that wombo combo.
Yep. When in doubt, throw a child mummy at it. That's how it goes. I think that's probably ANU. I'm hoping that's ANU's mantra, because we're going to see if it's going to come out. Ornn, once again, but this picked up for the UC team.
As we see, Ornn, once again, he's very much pick or ban at the moment. So, what we're seeing here, I thought we were going to see some monkey business with the Wukong in the jungle, but unfortunately moved back to the Sejuani. Sejuani and Ornn, a very, very strong combo.
Yep, it's the same combo. I believe that's identical to what you see around last time. Oh, actually, here's the Lissandra. This was banned last. In fact, I think it was Amumu Lissandra were banned away last game. So I'm iffy about this, considering ANU let UC get 2 picks they used in the game before. But ANU immediately taking 2 picks which were banned last game. Good innovation?
Well, as we see here, the players will potentially be able to...
Ooh, we heard about... Sorry to cut you off there. You're making a really good point, I know, but... Here's the Vayne. We talked about it last time. The ANU guys were like, should have picked Vayne. That's what they were saying. They were just like, we should have picked Vayne, so... I want to see how it goes. I'm so excited. Vayne actually has a really good win rate this patch. Sorry, continue your point, though. The one you were making before.
Well, as we see here, ANU able to pick up some very much comfort picks. We have that Lissandra, very practiced by their mid laner. And that Amumu, somewhat of a pick that can be played fairly simply, but has a large degree for a very high skill ceiling, if you will. So, once again, moving on to this Tristana. How do you feel about Tristana in the current meta?
Well, Tristana's the S tier, right? She's the top of the top, well, top of the bottom laners. It's fine, you know what I mean? She's incredibly good. She's strong early, she's strong mid, she's strong late. She's just the best champion, right? Absolutely. Well, maybe not quite balanced opinions there, but I think she's pretty good.
Well, the thing is, Tristana brings the ability to take down towers with her E, able to stack on them and deal large chunks of damage, but also she's able to output an incredible amount of sustained damage across a team fight, really able to pump up those damage numbers across the board for a team during their team fights, making them able to capitalize on their Ornn and Sejuani being able to lock down the entire opposition if they manage to set up.
All right, let's do some quick fire bans. Camille, Karma, banned out by UC, and on the other side, Talia and Oriana banned by ANU. Oriana ban? Do we need to say, anyone who's watched the game before knows that Oriana was just disgusting. But they left Zed open. Zed has like a 54% win rate this patch. He's actually surprisingly good.
Well, as we see, once Zed finally got a few changes to meta, has really brought Zed back into, back to his old playstyle and very much dominant in doing so. He's once again greeting his old friend Darkness. And moving on from there, we also see that Maokai pick, once again moving towards that very much high engaged potential for those team fights with the Amumu ult, followed up by a Maokai ult, able to lock down the entire team.
Okay, so the main focus of Zed, I think, is going to be assassinating Vayne. Is that hard? Is that going to be harder because of Vayne? Oh, don't talk about hovers. We don't talk about hovers. Okay, we can talk about it now. Lulu as a counter pick to Zed. Give us your insight.
Well, Lulu is able to shut down Zed. A lot of the time you will see Zeds, they get their shadow mark down, pop all of their damage, see those little death shurikens and go, all right, that kill is done and dusted. But with a Lulu there, she can pop her ult, she can pop her picks help. And then once again, as we see, that then can deny that kill. Not even including the polymorph able to stop him from getting that damage post-ult.
Hang on a minute, that's a Zerat support. Sorry, your face just there was not one of you weren't particularly impressed with that from what I was getting.
Well, luckily, as I said before we had these matches, I was waiting and quite eagerly looking forward to some of those cheeky picks that we could potentially see. And here it is. That support Xerath, not something we see in the common meta these days. Not really sure as to why. Might have something to do with the fact that we're very much in an engage meta. Well, so, as we see, moving into game, this will be a very interesting one to watch. Both teams with very strong comps, with some picks and counters that play against both teams and goes both ways.
Okay, a lot of checks and balances for this one. I don't know who I favor in this one. What are your thoughts? But actually, let's go over the teams first as whilst we're going to be in the load screen. UC, going from the top lane down to the bottom, they have the Ornn in the top lane, Sejuani jungle, Lissandra, no, sorry,
Zed mid lane.
Zed in the mid lane, thank you. You got me on that one.
AD carry Tristana.
AD carry Tristana and support Xerath.
From the looks of it, unless we are seeing some particularly cheeky plays, we may see a Zed support, but part of me feels like that may not be the case. Whereas on the flip side, we have the Maokai in the top lane, the Amumu jungle, Lissandra mid, Vayne AD carry, and Lulu support.
Yep. What I'm concerned about, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. People always talk about you don't run a full AD team, and you see, I don't know if they have a full AD team. I mean, they've got Xerath support, they've got Ornn top lane, they've got Sejuani jungle. Is that enough latent AP for UC to be able to not have to worry about ANU stacking armor on their, two big tanks?
Well, the nice part about both Ornn and Sejuani is a lot of their damage is both either base or is percentile, and they're both magic damage, very heavy magic damage. So that really does make up that deficit, which means that it will be very hard to build against.
You want to talk about cheeky, Frolic with a small trade onto the bot lane of ANU, but a trade nonetheless, already level 1 taking a bit of damage there. Looks like both members are actually going to have to be forced to back, so you see with positioning very carefully at the entrance. Austin, I believe, going to be starting on the bottom side. Actually, I believe Goonsack will as well. I'd like to see if he's going to start his Wraiths or if he's going to start on that red camp, but Hudge and Patsy Men.
See, as we see there, Pat Simmons really showing us the moves on Maokai.
That's it. That's a big part of the mechanics. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Okay, everyone's standard at the moment. Austin starting his blue buff, as I said. That's going to leave them the ability to gank top if they finish their first kind of clear. Looks like I got a bit of a visual bug on the Vayne. No, that's a mover. I'm seeing movers, part of the mover is passive. I got confused. I thought it was the silver bolts for a second. I was a bit confused, but I think it's okay. Hudge trying to play mind games actually with Patsy Man. Nothing yet. Just wanted to, I think, obfuscate somewhat where that start was going to be. Trying to hide it. We saw a lot of work put in by this Ornn. Do you think Maokai is going to fare a bit better in this matchup than Tristana kind of did? Not Tristana. Sorry, we had Tristana on screen. That's what threw me. Fiora, that's the one.
Well, is that going to favor better? That match could go either way. Both champions with high base and percentile damage. But I believe that we probably won't be seeing anything for at least the first 10 minutes, as both champions would more than likely just wet noodle each other for a good 30 seconds before backing off.
Okay, so you see both sides actually starting with very, very traditional items. Worth mentioning, Xerath taking because I don't know if Xerath support's particularly standard, so the item he's going to be taking is the Frost Queen's Claim. Bit of a trade coming in by Petsman. Hooge actually, it's actually not a bad trade. That's a decent amount of damage considering they are tanks. I believe they both have some level of percentage health damage, so both with the potential to kill each other, but as you say, a bit of a wet noodle fight. Good trade by Zippo on a champion he can absolutely show his skill on once again. So this lane will be quite volatile because a good engage by a Lissandra can kill. You can't 100-0 with the Lissandra, but it's just a matter of if it happens.
Well, as we see, if that Lissandra or Matt manages to get some of those good ganks off, manages to move to a bot lane, post 6, or even top lane, locks them down just for long enough, and they can pick up those kills, get that snowball lead, and essentially do to UC what was just given to them.
Frolic doing a good job of actually trading onto Donkey Whale there. His ability to passive to sustain his mana with his basic attacks is really good, and also that mana flow band, you're going to do a decent amount of work from that. Even if Xerath doesn't have a ton of base damage, which I don't think his base damage is too bad, if he can keep sustaining and keep throwing out abilities, he's going to chunk them down. He's going to poke them down over time anyway. Hooge definitely taking control of this kind of this top lane. No real CS advantage just yet, but is 4 minutes. It's pretty reasonable. No real jungle gank set up just at the moment. Austin's still in his jungle farming away. Goonsack had to back, but now we're going to see where exactly he goes. Bit of damage already on the tower by UC. That's pretty good for 4 minutes in. Frolic ability to push this lane out is actually worth noting. Madard taken so low, the ignite goes down. He managed to get the damage, but Zippo, Zippo gets outplayed by Madard, showing how he played last time. Bit of a small outplay there. Awesome job. Actually showing Zed how he should properly swap his shadows.
So as we saw there, Matard really showing off Lissandra's kit to expert levels with the baiting the Zed into burning his entire kit with all of his damage gone, and then manages to escape, leaving Zed to his fate underneath that tower and securing that kill.
Awesome job, and I love that it's the poetic nature of swapping away from where you currently are to bait Zed into a dive. That's just, I've been killed by too many Zeds for that not to be just fill my heart with war. Anyway, back to that top lane, a bit of passive trading going down pretty well. I'm really impressed with how much pressure UC have managed to get, but I want to see where the jungle comes. Jungle ganks. I'll just take a second on that. We're gonna see where the jungle. I can't say jungle. But here it is. Here comes Austin, taking Matard into a bit of a fight. Zippo putting him quite low. This might be the punishment. There comes the kill. Amuru jumps in, but without support from other players, it's not gonna help. Zippo's little help. MR barrier comes out, but wait a minute. There's a kill in the top lane. A solo kill as well for UC. They're turning this game around.
Well, as we saw there, Matard really believing in the Harley cards of that flash, trying to get behind the Zed and maybe juke out some of their potential damage, buying time for the Amumu. Unfortunately, that didn't seem to work out in this particular case.
Yeah, good attempt, ANU. Good job getting that early kill there. Already, taking a bit of control of this game, but still a solo kill in the top lane. That's gonna hurt quite a lot, especially considering we're talking about this being a wet noodle fight. Like, that's what you expect it to be. Actually, Donkey Whale taken a little low. Well, like, putting a bit of damage out on him, that is the strength of this poke composition. If you can stop this Vayne from getting ahead, then it's not bad.
We will probably be looking to see potentially an attack speed on hit Vayne in this game, especially with that Lulu support. So if she manages to pick up those potentially rapid fire cannon and the Gwynsus, can start outputting tremendous amounts of damage. We've seen it used to great effect in the OCE League very recently.
Zippo and Mata are taking a few trades back and forth. Zippo showing that he has the kill pressure on the Lissandra even after that first blood came out, so Mata are going to have to be played quite safe here. I'm just going to double check on the bottom lane. Looks like Lissandra might actually be roaming down, but she is going to have to step on the ward. So ANU know that gank, UC know that gank is coming, so they're going to back out just a little bit. Amumu is spotted on the top side, so no one really in middle at the moment. Lissandra seeing there's no opportune gank, Matard's just going to walk back, but it looks like Zed might be positioning for an all-in here. Gets a bit of damage out, but doesn't get the full combo, so Matard going to have a little bit of health left. Whoa, never mind, here comes the engage. Good old combination, UC deleting Matard, saying, you're going to take a bit of a lead, we're going to cut you off before you make that. Anything you can snowball. Good job there by UC, great play.
An excellent use of both the Sejuani and Zed ult, really locking him down, allowing no counterplay to that. Very smooth coordination between jungler and mid lane.
Especially considering how long they put that ward there. quite a time ago. You know, that wasn't just them happening to have a ward in the right spot. They'd made that play. They entered it. They knew that Matard had to try and get into the side lanes in order to snowball his team, puts the ward down, spots him out, and then gets a kill off it. That is perfect vision control. On that topic, here comes Zippo getting a kill into the bottom lane. There's one. Donkey Whale taking quite low. There's the flash on the tower. The stun's going to come in any second now. Never mind. There's a stopwatch. That's just going to give it over to Stampo, though. That means... Oh, no. Never mind. ZKS. Mid lane always casts the AD carry. Just the law of League of Legends.
Well, as we see there, the awesome Zed roams managing to further his own snowball. And once he gets far enough ahead, he can be an incredibly oppressive champion to have to lane against, or even in any lanes, with him able to split push with his wave clear, or force those fights and just shut down any form of carry that ANU may be able to get going.
You want to hear something scary? Duskblade of Drakthar in less than 8 minutes.
This is looking to be a rough game for ANU.
That's exactly it. I like ANU scaling. This time ANU are the ones who have the scaling in their advantage, you've got to argue. Is that does drop off a bit late game, especially once Lulu gets her ultimates, able to get a bit more protection for the Vayne. But they've got to get there. It's still the big mission for them.
ANU certainly isn't out of this match just yet. If they manage to get into that team fighting phase, once they get an item or two, as we see, the goal gap is fairly hefty, but not large enough to be game ending. So if they manage to get to that team fighting phase, they manage to force UC to whiff those large, long cooldown ults, they can take these fights fairly easily.
Yep, and also, it's I like to mention the disparity in the mid lane. Matard went in for a trade onto Zippo. However, Zippo was the one who turned around, I think dropped a Q, like a point blank Q, the Q nonetheless, and did that, as you saw just there, a chunk of damage away from Matard, and that's going to make it very hard for Matard to find any kind of play. Lissandra, not the worst into the Z matchup, you got to think, because of her ability to ult herself or ult the Z during, in order to minimize the damage from Zed's death marks.
Well, as we see, this Zed so far ahead, you'd almost confuse him for having a Trinity Force, especially considering he's dealing tons of damage by this point.
That's very true, very true. Dragon actually we didn't see that happen just down there. It's just a Cloud Drake. Probably not the most hype thing in the game, but still going to give them that move speed advantage. And move speed can mean can help dictate team fights. Jungle comes into the middle lane, but it's just the support there to help him out. So they're going to be able to stun Zed for quite a while, but not
as
much
we see
after that.
By the blue team's red buff. We have some positioning by the jungler and the support of UC. Lulu managing to scope that one out just in time to avoid any form of disaster that could have come from that.
Once again, ANU don't have a jungle. UC just have two. That's basically how I'm seeing this game as it is at the moment. And Gage coming in, a tower dive on the second tower already. It's barely even 10 minutes. Looks like they're just going to be zoned off for now while Tristana does that much damage to the tower. Teleport comes down for Patsy Man. Vayne putting a bit of damage out, but that TP going to be cancelled, which means UC have another chance for the re-engage. Sejuani's ultimate is up. She doesn't have the flash just yet, so she's not going to be able to get that flash stun. Here comes Goonsack though. He's going to be sped up by the Lulu, the Whimsy. Going to be stunned immediately though. Quite a lengthy stun for Azarath. I believe he's probably maxing that. I wouldn't be surprised considering that is quite a useful ability to have in these situations. We can actually check that if we want.
Well, as we saw, Sejuani now down that flash. But Vayne's ult was, I believe, also used. So if it isn't utilized properly, that is such a huge advantage that can be blown. And if it's down, they may not have the damage to come out and top on these team fights.
Also, Matard taken down solo in the mid lane whilst he still had Exhaust up. That's unfortunate. Zippo didn't have to burn Ignite. Matard didn't get to use Exhaust. So that's just telling a tale of how far ahead ANU are here. Also, Goonsack getting spotted in this rotation up. Actually had a flash for the engage onto the Zed. He still has the Shadow Swap. However, Goonsack gets predicted. Great overwhelming play by Goonsack, knowing exactly where Zed is. Overstays by Zippo. Good job by ANU to get the shutdown as well. Unfortunately, tower is going to be taken on the trade. However, that's quite a shutdown. If we just check, you can actually get to see how much gold there was there, but still quite an advantage. Quite a clawback from ANU. Kill goes over to the Amumu, maybe not the person you want the gold on, but the shutdown is going to be spread across the entire team. I think that was a full shutdown.
Well, we're looking around about 300 to 400 gold for that shutdown across the entire team, which will work out as around about 50 gold per teammate. However, once they shut down that Zed, it means that he misses out on the experience. He gets set not so much behind, but he isn't able to keep so far ahead.
And of course, they don't get to take the tower, which is what Zed was mainly doing, and that's why he was so overextended. So there we are. There are the chinks in UC's armor, which ANU have to start exploiting here. Well, I think they have to start exploiting. I mean, they could probably just force a team fight and win given enough. Yeah, Shikana finishing the 7 cube already, so it's a bit of damage for her. She's probably going to finish the Infinity Edge first. Vayne, not quite taking the build you were suggesting, going for what looks like a Blade of the Rune King build. Zed also split pushing in this bottom lane, so Wave's going to crash eventually. Zed just sticking around here for now. Looks like there's something sneaky happening in the top side jungle there. Matard forced to come down and face Zippo here. Pings of help going to the mid lane. So ANU want help across the board. What is Zippo going to set up here?
It appears that Zippo is rotating to that mid lane potentially, which could turn into a very rough team fight for ANU if they're not careful.
Actually, this is a great coordination. Catching out Matard. Is this going to be another solo kill? Gets snared up. Doesn't want to take it just in case there's help from UC. ANU. ANU forced back to their second turret when their mid hadn't even fallen yet. That is how much pressure over this map which UC have.
Well, as we see there, Zippo creating that distraction, really forcing the team to have to fall back, otherwise run the risk of losing 1 or 2 members, which would mean even further objectives. But by UC also then secures them that mid tower and that firm objective lead.
Yep, looks like there's going to be a roam up to the top lane for the UC guys. Tristana, she's going to push that tower by herself, so if anyone comes out to help, UC are in position in order to be able to stop anyone who does come and try and catch her out, but looks like they're going to take the tower. No reinforcements sent from ANU. ANU looking like they want to push out this tower, but not even 3 of them feel comfortable push onto Zippo without knowing where literally every member of UC is. Finally, top tower taken down, so 4 towers to none for UC.
As we see, ANU really falling behind in this game. But as I said before, they're not down and out if they manage to survive. They drag this game out to even the extremes if we have to see it. They do stand a very strong chance of being able just to, once they catch up, having that damage advantage, especially with that Vayne into that high health comp with the Ornn and the Sejuani.
Well, I don't know if it actually happened there, but we saw Zippo trying to steal away the chickens? Raptors. I like calling them chickens, so I'm just going to keep with that. Almost managing to steal away the chickens from the Amumu very close. I'm quite catchy if that actually happened, but at the same time, the pressure UC are putting onto just every part of the jungle now is pretty immense here. Zippo, what's he thinking? Actually, he's just there to zone off while his team takes Rift Herald. That's what he's up to. Free Rift Herald, I think. I don't know if anyone from ANU is anywhere near it. They don't even know this is happening. They're just so used to... Actually, I think they probably figured it out now. Goonsack just wants to kill him to Zippo as a trade. There comes the CC. There's going to be so much of that. And finally, he goes down. Not a shutdown this time, but still a kill. So trading Rift Herald for the Zed kill. Worth it?
Well, as we see, at this point, Zed is so far ahead. The pressure that he exerts is probably similar to a Rift Herald. He then draws at least 2 members to any lane that he pushes in. So as we see, either way, taking this Zed is a very safe pickup, means that they have that little bit of pressure, they have that numbers advantage, which means that UC can't utilize that Herald straight off the take.
They absolutely cannot, but second, Cloud Dragon. So that's going to be double Cloud Drakes for UC. Probably not quite what they want. Looks like there's a fight going down here in the bottom lane. Hard getting Chloe taken quite low for UC. It's 4 members already there. They don't have another engage. Never mind. There comes the Amumu. Here comes Vayne with the ultimate. Another big ultimate onto the Maokai. Nothing found just yet. Great disengage from UC. They're just going to recall and take that for now. But ANU showing they still have pressure on this map. And take... UC going back to the Dragon for now, though. Making sure they've got a bit of pressure on this. Looks like it's probably going to be a free Dragon as well. No response from ANU. They don't really have anyone who's going to be particularly good at stealing this. Cassandra's here. She doesn't... I don't even know if she knows it's happening. I don't know if she's even going to contest it. But she's going to back away now. Probably a safe assumption that you can't take that. Let it go over. It's just a Cloud Drake.
Well, the problem is that even though it may be just exaggerated.
Mad going in. Can he get the return kill? Here comes Frolic coming back. Zippo stunned. Oh, sorry, exhausted now. Wow, the Wild Growth goes out, but that's so much damage from the combination of the AD carry and the death buff. Turn from UC. Good teleport in there by the Ornn. Managing to capitalize on this. Stelpo getting free hits on the entire team. Donkey Whale taken so low. ANU, they lose 2 members, but they take down 1 at least. It is the score. Rift Herald getting popped. UC committing to this push. Ooh, engaged there by Goonsack. Doesn't manage to get many of the stopwatches used. Austin goes relatively low, but it doesn't matter because the health bars on ANU are lower. Hudge going in, trying to tank out for his team. Stallenpo, not enough health to really commit to this. Goonsack looking for some sort of re-engage. They might take the Rift Herald down, actually, before it takes the tower. So that's a small win for ANU, I have to say. Completely nullifying the power of that objective. So essentially, that pick on Zed probably worth it for them.
Well, exactly. If they can shut down UC's pressure and once again drag it out, as we see, Vayne has completed her Blade of the Ruined King. Once they can manage to take that pressure off and then capitalize, that is their one way they can win this. They're not quite down. Oh, they are down, but they're not quite out.
Yep, well, playing that almost half the team at the moment, playing the PUBG role, lying there waiting for their teammate to pick them up.
Well, as we see here, ANU really capitalizing on their raptor or chicken control.
That's it. Hey, that's where ANU is looking to win this game, I think. If they can control the raptor chickens, then they win. That's their game plan. I like it. So far, it's working for them, you know?
Well, they've probably gotten around about 5 of the past 6 raptors in that camp.
That's it. Considering there are 7 raptors in the camp, it's a bit worrying. Sorry. Looks like actually Frolic taking the blue buff here. He is starting to build into what looks like AP. Typically we see these support mages really just there for the early game utility, and then they start building into kind of support items. But Frolic looking like he's confident enough to actually build into damage, whereas this buff takes all 3 members of UC to take it, but finally given over to Lysandra. So what do you think about, I guess Zed doesn't need it, but he does like for his stamina regen. No fights quite happening. Looks like you. It's always terrifying whenever you see UC because they can just engage on someone so quickly.
UC has a team that is very much able to not only like each and every member has some form of engage. They can start these fights all on their own, and they are far enough ahead that they can safely do so in a one-on-one setting.
UC trying to make sure they absolutely dominate the vision control, especially around that Baron, because they want to be able to take it the second they get a pick. Looks like there might be some engage around the top of the jungle. iPod not scored out Zippo there. Engages immediately, has the help from that Edge of Night as well. So Vayne just goes down before she even has an idea of what's going on. Goonsack trying to come and help, but really nothing either the junglers can do about that. Austin can't do anything because his team's already won the fight. Goonsack can't do anything because they've already lost.
Well, as we saw there, Zippo managing to stop that condemn and secure that kill with the passive on the Edge of Night, I believe.
That is way too much damage for a support to be putting out on a mid laner. That's half of Madard's health, just from Frolic alone. Madard now trying to desperately clear the wave. Good dodge there. I don't know if it was quite necessary to burn the Proto Belt, but UC looking like they're one touch to take you out of the tower. Thank you, Stalpno. Thank you for finally knocking that down. That's good. Didn't want that tower to stay there for another 5 minutes while UC tried to play the push game. Engage now on the bottom side. Looks like UC are actually coming with a reinforcement. The ultimate doesn't actually land, but Hooch takes it voluntarily, jumps straight back in. Austin now going in with the engage. It's 4 members of UC there, starting for the 4 members of ANU. Big, messy fight. Big ultimate lands. UC, they're routed. They're having to run away. Austin taken so low. iPod winning the damage. However, the tank for the tank. Now, UC turning his fight around. Frolic so low, unfortunately not being able to find the damage onto Stalpno, who is the carry in this situation. So, iPod doing a good job of situation there, but a pause. Well, we know. Do you know what this means, Redwards? This means that we are a genuine, legitimate, competitive League of Legends series now, because we've had our first pause.
Exactly. You're not really a professional league game up until you see that those technical difficulties come out of the woods.
Absolutely. So this is going to be on Madard's end. I believe he's going to be trying to figure out why Zed's so fed. That might be what it comes down to. But for now, going to check out what the situation is. I do believe there was a slight issue with some of the Windows interface, but we'll be able to get that sorted, hopefully relatively quickly. So, for now, you get to enjoy us.
Our company is always
Sorry about that. Sorry to cut you off there. Without saying too much about what's going on in the game, because we are in a technical pause, so we can't exactly reveal too much, just in case we are overheard by the players in the moment. What do you think about this game and how it's going so far?
Well, as we've seen here, ANU with that really strong start, which was then very rapidly reversed upon them. But as we see here, they are still pulling off those big plays, even despite that being so far behind, really managing to just stick it in there by throwing in whatever they can.
Yeah, I like the guts shown by ANU. They've clearly not given up on this game. They're trying everything they can, and considering the disadvantages they've been at, I love the fact that they've been showing signs of winning fights. That's impressive. They've been going, sometimes they've been going 2-1, but they've been going 2-1 where they'll leave one member of UC on like 10 health, and they're that close to being able to make these trades even worthwhile trades.
Well, that is rather admirable, especially when you have a look at this gold deficit. We're sitting right now on an 8.7 thousand goals.
Okay, we're going to be back in the game any second now. Issue, I believe, has been resolved, so the team's just going to communicate. Just going to make sure that everyone is ready to go, and then we strike back in. At the moment, we're looking at Frolic, Stalpo, and Huge in the bottom lane, pushing the bottom lane tower. Actually, I believe we have a client restart, so might be just a little bit longer. Classic client restart. If it doesn't work, if it doesn't work at first, turn it off and on again. It's always the way you do it.
Exactly.
A summoner has disconnected.
That'd be good. All right, we're gonna pass you over to Joel. He's gonna do a giveaway. It's gonna be hyped up. Won't have to listen to us anymore. Here it goes.
All right, how's everyone going tonight? Yep, all right, we hope that we're getting this back sorted. Hopefully it won't take too long. I have 2 more of these minions to give away. Some of you got to play one of these games before. A lot of you came in afterwards. We're going to play a game of true or false here. The way it's going to work is I'm going to get everyone who wants to participate to stand up. And then what we'll do is I'm going to say something. If what I say is true, you put your hands on your head. If what I say is a lie, you put your hands on your bum. I will then tell you. Well, we're good, so we'll do, all right. Do we have time to do one? I've already started and people want to win. All right, we'll do one when we're back to it. This time it's going to be, is this a real Street Fighter game? There have been roughly 200 billion Street Fighter games released with all sorts of ridiculous titles. I'm going to say the name of a title. If it's real, hands on your head. If it's fake, hands on your bum. Stand up if you want to have a go at winning. Standing up. Even if you don't know Street Fighter, stand up. You got a 50-50 chance of winning this. All right. Street Fighter. Was there ever a game called Street Fighter? Put your hands on your head if there actually was. Put your hands on your bum if that was never one. And the game, stop me if the game starts without me. Yes, there was a game called Street Fighter. If your hands on your bum, sit down. All right, let's get weirder. Hyper Street Fighter 2 Turbo Anniversary Edition. Was that ever a real Street Fighter release? Take your choice, and no, I made that one up. Sounds real though. Street Fighter 2 Turbo Mega Fighting. Was that a real one, or did I make that up? Real, hands on your head, made up, hands on your bum. Yeah, that's a real one. Let me scroll down the list and get crazier. All right. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Fight for the Future Online Edition. Was that real or fake? Yeah, that was fucking real. That's Hyper Street Fighter Omega. Is that a real one? That one is a fake. Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max. Yeah, just have a guess. So we got 2 yes, 2 no. That's real. All right, we're down to 2. Street Fighter Alpha 2 Platinum. One of you guessed something different. You're both wrong currently. All right. Hyper Street Fighter 2 Turbo Anniversary Edition. Oh good, we picked different ones. And that I made that one up. We have our champion. Get ready to catch. Don't run away. Don't come down. Huh. I'm terrible at throwing. I like esports. That shouldn't be surprising. All right. I think we're ready to go. Get back into it, guys.
Okay. Do love a bit of Street Fighter trivia there. What's your favorite Street Fighter game while getting back into game?
Well, as we saw, I'm always a fan of the originals. Really brings back childhood memories, especially on that one. A little bit of trash talk in the team chat, as we saw there.
Yep, Director Cameron deciding to shut down on us for a second, so that's wonderful. So we actually, what we didn't see, there was a slight bit of it play which we didn't see. It was UC recalling. So I'm sorry you didn't get to have that on display. Whoa. This could be part 16 of Zippo assassinating everyone. Matter this time uses his ult, so he's going to be alive. He's not going to take as much damage from that. However, the ult comes out from Frolic as well, raining down damage onto the entire team. Donkey Whale almost taken out, but not quite. Mattard at half health. That Z ultimate is down for the next, let's be real, about 20 seconds. And so he will have a chance to drop that assassination again soon, but we are seeing how that mid lane pick can kind of survive, and also Baron picked up while we were being distracted by the Zed, which I believe was the entire intention actually.
Exactly, as we saw there, Zed making those big plays, really flexing his muscles, drawing the attention of ANU while the rest of his team secured that Baron safely.
Now it looks like they're going to take the third Cloud Drake, really. That's very advantage taking 3 Cloud Drakes, or is it just now you move extra speedy?
Well, realistically, the main power of Cloud Drakes is the ability to enhance their team's power and rotations. Very much. It locks in their ability to out-rotate the enemy team as they're moving so much faster out of combat.
Okay, Zippo pretty much threatening that bottom lane, able to carry a lot of pressure with him. As you said before, we've got the top laner of the top lane and everyone else stacking in the mid lane for the UC team. So a lot of pressure along the board. This is what they call the 1-3-1 strategy. Is it ideal for UC? Is this going to give a weakness for ANU? What do you think about the 1-3-1?
Well, as we see here, most of their team members are quite safely able to pull off those 1v1 duels. However, ANU has shown off that they are capable of taking those team fights and nearly winning them, especially while they're so far behind. That 3 in the mid lane is at a huge risk of getting taken out.
Stabno getting a red buff on him, so 2-0 Tristana, not quite at that ridiculous one-shot everyone situation just yet, but you know, they've got Zed for that, so that's okay. But with the red buff, it's definitely going to make it that much harder for ANU to win these team fights. Also going to take the blue buff now, so UC with complete control of the jungle, of both jungles actually. Austin ready to jump over the wall and assassinate anyone who comes near him. Fadziman clearing out the top lane for now, but Ornn going to be able to push that straight back in, especially with that Baron buff. Looks like ANU going to commit a few members to this top side. They're being very careful because they know that at any moment they could get jumped on by this UC team. Zed up to no good. I think that's the technical term for what he's doing at the moment. Mattard already taken a bit of damage. Zed hasn't used his ult yet. Lissandra has hers up as well, so any dives on the tower might actually be risky for Zed, as weird as it is to say that at this point in the game.
Exactly. So if that Zed decides to overextend, he either blows his ult and then has to recast it to get back out, and then his ult is down, or he either forces it and runs the chance, and only a chance, of picking up that kill while running the gambit of the tower and Lissandra's damage.
Okay, and kind of spreading their team pretty evenly around their base, trying to make sure that UC aren't able to break that as easily. They're putting the damage on the tower, but that does regenerate health over time, so you can't play as passively as you would otherwise. And considering they've got this Baron buff, they're likely pushing a little bit harder, so actually a good job by ANU being able to secure these towers for now, even though they've been spread pretty thin across the map. That said, UC starving ANU of jungle farm.
I'd really like to point out that really cheeky ring down on Xerath's build, really showing off the, hey, my team's winning, I'm a support, I can take this, and it's safe enough for me to do so. I can sit far enough back and reap all of this AP for free.
I'm sure UC right now regretting the fact that Sword of the Occult was taken out of the game. With like probably some stacks of the Zed as well. That'd just be disgusting though. Pretty sure this game would be over at that point. But on that topic, Zed putting a lot of damage on the bot lane tower. We talked about how the mid lane wasn't making a ton of progress, but Zed doing a good job pushing in the middle lane tower. Matar doing everything he can to desperately clear the waves. Bit of fight going back and forth for that top lane tower. The last outer turret, inner turret. Sorry about that. Inner turret standing for ANU still, so they're defending that as best they can. Maokai doing everything he can to make sure he also stays safe in that. A bit of just a back and forth for now. Probably not going to be any fights until we see the Dragon and or Baron coming up again. That's the safest way for UC to play, but it does give the potential for iPod, which we were talking about in the break. iPod being able to scale in this game. He's doing a lot of damage. Matar taken so low from the combo, which doesn't even involve Zed's ultimate. High tier Zed players talk about how his ult is really just a gap closer. You don't even need it for the damage.
Exactly. Also, what we have to point out is Stalpo managed to get that auto attack off. That hefty crit, which did a solid chunk of Matar's health.
Yep, Stalpo, when he hits this 3-item spike, which is the kind of hyper carry main damage spike, he's going to be just insanely high damage. Does have the fleet footwork, so nothing quite like a lethal tempo Tristana, where he just gets like 4 attacks a second when he's Q's active, but still a lot of damage being put out there. Managed to survive the early game quite well, so in fact doing quite well in the early game. I wouldn't even know if surviving is quite the right word. Amumu trying to find some sort of engage, because that Amumu can make a big difference in this. Unfortunately, Stalpo does have a QSS, so that engage isn't quite going to be as effective. However, Zed with only the Edge of Night, which was popped just there. Jesus, Donkey Whale actually forced to use his ultimate. Got my players confused a little bit there. Donkey Whale forced to use his ultimate on himself. That's a big problem, because that means there's no real protection for that Vayne if she gets ulted by the Zed. Here comes another pause. Similar issues as last time, I do believe. So this game so tense that even the client can't seem to take it.
Well, here we go. League of Legends just really isn't up to the sort of strain, the high intensity gameplay we've been seeing today.
That's it. But in terms of what we're seeing across the map, 3 Cloud Drakes for the UC team.
Side.
Yeah, another Dragon coming up in 49 seconds and Baron in 1 minute and 16.
Well, as it seems, I don't think it's late enough in the game, so we'll probably be seeing another Elemental Dragon. With the UC team's luck, or rather the ANU team's luck, it will probably be an Infernal Drake. However, fingers crossed, we see another Cloud Drake, so that buff is unfortunately a little bit wasted, so we see a bit more hope for the ANU side.
Yep, if ANU can manage to make a steal off this Dragon, and if it is one of those really, really strong Drakes, then there is no reason why ANU can't just turn this game around. And especially if ANU keeps surviving the way they've done so far, if they manage to survive until a very late game spike when Vayne gets her build online, and you kind of talking about this, once she's got protection, once she's got, like a Guardian's Angel, full build, who knows? Who knows how this game's going to go?
Well, as we see right now, that Vayne moving towards that Gwynsus. Once she gets that Gwynsus and those double on-hit procs, she can start hammering out those silver bolts, really putting the pain and the pressure on Sejuani, really making those trades and stopping them from those strong engages.
Here comes the unpause. We're back in the game now. UC continue the push. Actually, a team fight breaks out straight away. Good 3-person stuns. Cleansed by Stalpo. However, the damage being turned to Austin. There comes iPod with the damage. Managed to find one. Here comes the engage by Lissandra. A great job there. Zed goes in the back line. However, he might get blown up. He does get exhausted. He is going to find Vayne, though. No, he wasn't find Vayne, though. Vayne's finding everyone else in the back line. That's the mid and the support taken out from UC. Sorry, taken out from UC for the... Sorry, mid support for ANU, for mid and jungle from UC. What a team fight.
As we see there, iPod on his Vayne, really stepping up to the plate as predicted, and just showing us the power of that pick. Going into this game, we knew it would be a big game changer, and it's really starting to show off now.
2, 3, and 2, absolutely back in, not quite control, but in a good position there. Actually, opting for the static shiv, so not going for that Gwynsos just yet. I expect, at this point, probably better just go for a full crit build, which does have quite a lot of damage still, nonetheless, surely.
Exactly, as we see, that pickaxe, more than likely at this point, moving into it in fetch. So once she gets that Infinity Edge, that burst damage really will give her a run for her money against that Tristana, able to almost match that damage output.
Hey, it could be a late game tier. Let's not discount the idea yet. It could be a late game tier built into the Romana.
I believe so.
Yep. If she stacks that up, that's quite a bit of damage. It's quite good gold efficiency, actually, especially in a game where you're behind. Probably not going to happen because that is an item which you really need to rush, but nonetheless, also probably not great on Vayne. But ANU finally getting their blue buff back. They're taking control of the jungle back.
As we would say, make the jungle great again.
Well, make the jungle, give the jungle back there. Or UC, maybe not going to feel too great about this. They've got the four, probably the worst buffs for them in this game. Like, if they had an Infernal or a Mountain Drake, they could close this game out no issues. But
luckily for the ANU team, or rather unluckily for the ANU team, if those dragons had been swapped around and it had been 3 Ocean Drakes instead of 3 Cloud Drakes, they would be in a much stronger position, because whilst the Cloud Drakes do give that regeneration and that sustain, or rather Ocean Drakes, those Cloud Drakes are giving the Sejuani, the Ornn and the Zed the ability just to run straight in, be able to jump on them and really not give the ANU team much time to respond to this.
Ooh, iPod getting engaged on by the Zed. The death blast's going to do quite a bit of damage. Actually, it takes like half her health, but she managed to dodge everything else. Here comes the ultimate back. Ooh, Wild Ghost comes out, but Frolic and Zed managing to get the kill. Zippo and Frolic on point with the coordination. Almost the double mid lane comp at this point, really. iPod taken down, so that's going to be a lot of pressure ANU are under right now, and that should be a Baron for UC. Shouldn't be too many problems there. Tristana should be very good, very capable of taking that out.
As we see, 3-0 for Tristana with 326 farm. Almost moving well towards late game build. Really able to burst down this Baron. Not much time for the ANU side to contest this.
Yep, that's it. And there was no one really in position yet. Also, we have, so far, I believe it's a 475 move speed Tristana.
Now, as
that's what
we
we're
see,
facing with those 3.
ANU just lost Amumu, one of their biggest players.
Yep.
Really, who was pulling a lot of the weight. And without him, they now stand a very, very strong chance of losing these team fights. If UC wants to push this, there's not much ANU.
Here comes the Ornn engage. Donkey Whale taking relatively low exhaust, already used on Zed. Madon getting the backline, a decent amount of damage. iPod is back in this fight, trying to take that Hudge. Managed to do a lot of damage there. He finally goes down. There's the Ornn for the Sandra though, so that is a mid lane, a really important character, and finally the Maokai goes down. Now we're seeing the range advantage from Tristana coming in. She is as much a hyper carry as Vayne, considering how much more range she has. Vayne, iPod and Donkey Whale not really able to find any way to get into this fight for the 2 at the moment. This is a very rough time to be an ANU player. I guess this entire series has been a rough time to be an ANU player though.
Oh, exactly. But even when that is said, they have made such an admirable effort. Even with this behind, Vayne popping off, Mattard really showing he's managed to carry that gold that he had early and has really shown us his mastery of Lissandra's kit. Time and time again, each and every play they make is so amazing when you consider that they are almost full items behind across the board.
We talked about how ANU, every time they fight, they're able to almost get that little bit extra. And they were fighting with a man down in that situation. They were fighting with their main team fight down. That ability for Amumu to get backline and ult and just shut down and lock down an entire team, that's incredible strength. And without that, they were doing pretty well at winning that fight. Like, they were by no means lost that by a big margin.
Exactly, ANU showing
Madon going for a big engage on the Zippo, taken quite low, forced to ult himself, that's not going to translate to much damage. The Ornn ultimate takes it down, actually no, Zippo takes it down with the help of the Ornn ultimate. There comes a 4-person stun by Amumu. The ultimate is actually whiffed by Sejuani, it doesn't really hit anyone, or might immediately cleanse out. Hard to say, now is tank v tank for the moment while the carries are kind of sitting behind them. iPod in a position on the side here, trying to get as much damage as he can. There goes the Hard, just quite a bit of damage. Whoa, Zippo moving in! Gets the ultimate off Vayne, needs to focus him, takes it down. Not quite actually, he survives in the slightest amount of health. UC taking down 2 members. Oh, 3 now with a Tristana diving in deep. There goes the insect onto the Amumu. He's just gonna get taken down. I'm sorry, Amumu. Stopwatch still available for Frolic. Or is that just Azonia's Hourglass? No, that was the stopwatch. Series is gonna go to UC. 2-0 so far. Well done to those guys. They absolutely played their hearts out.